This game might be a weird pick for me to cover, so I'll try not to spend too much time making a massive video that none of you will actually watch. Now, to start off, I'm going to mention what genre the game Mr. Mine is. You're going to have to trust me when I say that this game is a genuine piece of art and a good portion of it is worth your time. Mr. Mine is an idle game. Alright, I know, that sounds bad, but it's an extremely unique one that has a lot to appreciate even if you're not going to, actually play it. This video is going to contain a lot of spoilers for the game, so if you like Flash games style and subtly dark games, I highly recommend you try it, especially since it's literally free. Finally, I'm gonna actually start talking about the game and why I think it's much better than like every other idle game. When you load up the game, you will notice that it has a very strong resemblance to that of a Flash game. Actually, I think it did come from a Flash game, but that doesn't really change anything. Anyway, you are in charge of starting a mining operation with a big drill and like one worker. The drill will forever be mining down, which creates more workers out of absolutely nothing. In average idle game fashion, you can increase the number of workers in each row via black magic, sell your materials, and use your materials and your money to upgrade your drill so you can dig even deeper into the depths of the planet. Though the game does heavily rely on the average idle game stuff early on, I think the vibe of the game is enough to hold you over until things start getting really interesting. For example, whenever you click your miners, they will give you a nice little quotes that are sometimes a little worrying. Uh, uh, Eventually, you will reach the trading post, where you will meet many colorful merchants that will offer you mostly materials and money. At first, these trades are very difficult to actually make, but they also can give you a lot if you can. As you progress, the trades get a little more intense. Haha, yeah, where exactly am I supposed to store 4.8 trillion coal? For context, the planet-sized storage can hold up to 200 million minerals. So yeah, you're gonna need a lot of space. Wait, if you need a massive number of planets to store coal, where are they mining the coal? I think I'll mention now that one of the things I love about Mr. Mine is how it frequently introduces completely new features and ways to make money, materials, and whatever else your rapidly growing greed could want. As you progress, you unlock new materials, which in turn unlocks more recipes, and you also gain access to some interesting isotopes. At 45 kilometers down, you unlock caving, which allows you to send drones into caves to collect many different kinds of rewards. Oh, okay, so now we care about human rights. On a surface level, this is just yet another nice little way to make progress, but it's also really stressful once you get to the end of the cave where the good rewards are, because the clock is ticking. Soon, your miners will start discovering chests, which can give you various rewards, including time lapses. Time lapses pretty much just teleport you into the future, so you have more materials and money than you did before. The chests have many other rewards, like money and materials. Someone explained the appeal of leaving a chest full of red diamonds worth hundreds of billions of dollars so deep in the earth that finding red diamonds isn't actually that uncommon. Doesn't matter, it's pretty much just free money to me. With these chests eventually come scientists, which are incredibly stressful. Scientists can be sent on missions to get all sorts of rewards for you, but as they get higher level, they are forced into doing more dangerous missions, which quite often causes them to die tragically or get obliterated epically. The higher the likelihood of death, the better the reward. Usually. Scientists are probably the best way of getting your hands on relics, which are effectively permanent upgrades until you sacrifice them to the core of the earth because you got a better one, or you sacrifice them to the core of the earth to get a better one. I promise I'll explain later. While digging down, you will discover multiple drill merchants. Sell you drill parts and increase storage capacity. Wait, so are they just selling me land or something? Anyways, the first one you'll discover is Golem, that may or may not be from a certain book series. Golem was a little odd in my opinion because I can't seem to figure out how he actually got his grubby mitts on multiple different levels of nuclear engines. The second drill merchant you will come across is the Broken Robot. Huh, you just need some money to get fixed? Sure, I'll buy something. Holy cow, how much does it cost to get fixed? Mining ever deeper into the earth, the astute observer might notice that there are so many freaking bones down here. What happened? You know what? It's not important. Don't worry about it. No previous civilizations getting wiped from existence due to mass greed here. Haha. The underground city is a really cool concept, but its introduced feature is probably the one that I like the least. You can access a very rudimentary combat system where there are no stakes, since all you lose from losing a battle is your time, and I guess maybe you should get that miner replaced since he did just get annihilated. From winning, you do get a lot of money though. However, at this point, I had to come to expect more kinds of rewards from new features. It's not all bad since the new weapon upgrade system isn't that bad and will be interesting for a little while. Plus, there's a new currency. Oil! Ever mining deeper, you'll find yourself at the core of the earth. I'll admit that it's pretty disappointing at first, but it has a lot of depth as you get farther. Did I just make a pun? I didn't even... That is in the script. I did not mean for that to happen. Now, the question, how do you get further from here, may come up. Luckily, I have a very simple answer. Keep mining. For whatever reason, you can just mine through the center of the earth and out the other side. Okay, fine. I'll explain everything about the center now instead of forcing you to wait for any actual information. You can sacrifice pretty much anything into it in hopes of getting something to come out. Usually you get absolutely nothing, which is why it's pretty disappointing at first. I mean, I wouldn't expect to get something just because you threw a bunch of rocks into actual lava. However, as you start discovering books of secrets that seem a little misleading, you will find that the core is in fact very, very useful. When sacrificing a book of secrets that obviously doesn't do anything to the core, it will become warped. Surely this won't have dire consequences on the rest of the planet that shares this exact core that is now blue for some reason. From here, you can throw one of the previously mentioned relics inside, which will be guaranteed to return to you as a warped version, which means it is slightly increased stats. This in itself is a pretty interesting way to let you make your relics more effective, but it gets deeper. If you throw another book of secrets in the core, when it's warped, you'll get a warped core of secrets. Obviously, as any rational person would, you throw it in again. This time, the core becomes divine, which effectively allows you to make a relic with even better stats. Throughout the game, every 100 kilometers, the mines change their appearance in some way. However, after 500 kilometers, it completely halts. Unfortunately, at this point, a lot of the magic the game has to offer begins to fade. The drill slows tremendously, your money making and progress increases at a much slower pace than it used to. Things like chests, scientist rewards, and cave rewards start feeling almost meaningless. Trades are much easier to do, but almost always give you the same amount of profit in return. No new drill merchants appear as you spend all your time desperately trying to obtain increasingly expensive upgrades, since they have become almost the only thing with any real effect on gameplay. While the game's initial flash game-like charm isn't completely gone due to the minor efficiency upgrades, I personally believe that as severely depressing as it is, this sudden drought of content actually serves the game in a way. You force yourself to continue playing because of multiple highly vague promises that the game will start introducing new and unique features again. If you look in the top left, you will have noticed that it clearly shows that there are 2 more planets to be discovered after you escape the confines of our home planet Earth. You will also have likely taken a look at the achievements that sometimes hint at features you know nothing about. Finally, you figure that since the core of the Earth lies at 500 kilometers down, that it's completely possible for you to do it again in order to see what is going on with them question marks. It's because of this terrible dry spout and actual fun that when the game introduces features again, it's such a great experience. When you finally reach the other end of the Earth, you are allowed to launch the drill to the moon where you can start over. With only one worker, you are finally allowed something new to happen. For a while, the moon is a sort of mirror to Earth. You unlock moon caves and moon trades that are both more extreme versions of the previously mentioned ones. It's still not what you were hoping for, so the only solution to finding the features hinted at in the achievements is to just keep playing. Just keep playing, just keep playing, just keep playing. When you unlock new isotopes and minerals, you're very surprised to hear the same sound effect you once heard so often when you started this mess. You were lied to, in a way. You thought the moon would be different, that the constant bombardment of features would finally return. Though you have your doubts, you know you have to keep playing. You have to keep playing. You have to keep playing. You have to get back to the good old Mr. Mine you used to know. As you sluggishly mine your way through the moon, you pray that there will be something, anything, at 100 kilometers. I think the drought of content in Mr. Mine can say a lot about some occurrences in real life and how we treat them. Sometimes our actions can lead to great results, but we can't always expect the same ones. Sometimes it's best not to get too attached to an idea because you might not have the power to make it a reality. Sometimes we trick ourselves into thinking that we will be given something never promised if we just work harder. Sometimes we are tricked by others into believing that we can gain something unattainable from them if they gain enough from us. Sometimes we make ourselves believe that what we desperately want, we desperately need. Though we don't want to give in to defeat or throw away an important goal, sometimes the best choice is to step back and observe whether or not you're actually getting anywhere. Though, on occasion, every once in a while, sometimes you're not working for nothing. Sometimes there are great results to be obtained. Sometimes there is a fruit to your labor. Sometimes there's a light at the end of the tunnel. Sometimes the best rewards are the ones we work the hardest for. Sometimes there is true meaning to your effort. Sometimes you reach 100 kilometers on the moon and find the reactor. You stuck it out. You decided that getting that unique, fun, engaging content was worth any wait. Whether it was or not, there's something nice about knowing that you made it. Sure, you could go a lot further in Mr. Mine, and I'm sure I eventually will, but for now, I'm satisfied. The reactor is everything I wanted. Not some reskinned early game feature, not some basic brain-dead way to make some extra cash, but a genuinely interesting tool that majorly spices up the gameplay. The reactor gives new meaning to the isotopes, minerals, and time lapses. I could go on talking about how great I think the reactor and the buff lab that comes right after it is amazing, but I don't want that to be the point. I love Mr. Mine because of its art style, its strangely dark nature, and at times the experience I gained from it. I love that in a way I doubt that the message I got from the game was even considered when making it. It just makes it even more real to me that it wasn't just shoved down my throat like I'm shoving it down yours. I think if you're still watching and you haven't played the game, it might be too late to get the full experience that I had. I just hope that this video will suffice for you. Alright, as usual, make sure to like and subscribe because I tell you to. Yeah, thanks for watching to the end. I'll see you guys next time.